Okay, welcome everybody. I want to welcome Nathan Herne to our podcast.
Hey,
how you
Nate.
going,
Yeah, good. Mate.
Yeah. And we've got Adam over there as well. Hey, buddy.
Hey, mate. Welcome to the first one.
First one. All
First
exciting.
podcast.
Pretty big, yeah.
A little bit nervous.
You're a guinea pig, mate.
Yeah, that's it.
You excited?
We'll see how we go. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we'll be as happy at the end of the night.
Oh, we'll be happy.
Should
Everybody's happy.
It's also I appreciate you coming on too.
Yeah.
A bit of short notice, and thanks for doing that.
That's all right.
Because you just got back from Sydney.
Yeah, I got back from Sydney working on the weekend and then heading down to Adelaide tomorrow. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Adelaide 500, is that what it's called?
Yeah, so Super Elite 500, Trans Am support category for the supercars. So it's going to be a big event. I think they're expecting around 150 to 200,000 people going through.
Oh, wow.
Right through the gate itself. As well as that, we've got Fox Sports coverage, so it's going to be the biggest event I've been to. So yeah, it'll be massive.
So you mean support event to the V8?
To supercars, yeah. So we've got 3 races during the weekend, 2 practice sessions and qualifying. So we've got a fair bit of track time, which is good. So a lot of coverage for sponsors and everything like that, and a lot of time to try and build up a name for myself.
Yep.
So those races you're talking about when you say track time, how long are you on the track at each time? How many laps is it, or is it a kilometres or?
Yeah, so we do it in lap races.
Yep.
Obviously with TA2, it's still a new category in Australia, so they're still going through a lot of teething problems with the cars at the moment.
Yep.
They're only new. They've never been really driven too hard. When they first came into Australia, it was sort of a group of 5 friends, all successful businessmen, came together and they said, "Oh, look, we want to buy some cars, but we don't know where to buy them from." And so they went over to America. One of them went to America. Peter Robinson, he went over there for a business trip. Went to one of the racetracks and saw TA2 going around, so he brought it in, as long with some of his friends. And they had 6 cars, and so now we're starting. I think the category's grown over to 50-something cars in Australia, which is massive. It's one of the biggest categories in Australia at the moment.
I read somewhere that they look like they might have 60 cars this year.
Yeah. So
that's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's different. They're going through a time of change at the moment, so they've actually split in half. So last year it was TA2, just a category. Now I've got Trans Am series and TA2 as well. So yeah, it's split half and half, which it's not honestly a bad thing. We've got half of it with Trans Am is all television coverage just for the young blokes coming through like myself.
Yep.
Trying to make a name for himself, trying to get sponsors.
Yep.
And then you got TA2, which is pretty much the same group of blokes who started the category, just a lot more variety of people in the category.
So where are you running in both?
Yeah, so we'll try and run both series, just whatever we can do financially. And yeah, we're trying to support both because we get along good with Peter Robinson, Cam Sendell, and everyone who started the series.
Yeah.
So we don't want to ruin that relationship with them.
Yeah.
As well as that, we still want to try and make a name for ourselves. I mean, it's a hard world to crack into motorsport, so we need to try and any exposure is good exposure. So we're trying to get out there a little bit more, and at least with the Trans Am series with their TV coverage throughout the year. Well, I mean, it's a lot better than what we've had previously.
Yeah, Nate, like, just for people who don't know what this is all about and who you're about, you're 17 and racing race cars.
Yeah.
Like 17 years old. What was I doing at 17? I was ready to go to pubs.
Well, most kids were, yeah.
Yeah, so you're
Everybody think
17
about that, yeah.
and racing. So what got you into it to start with? Or what age were you when you got in a go-kart, or were you doing something else?
Yeah,
or?
so I've always been on motorbikes, push bikes, everything my whole life. So
Yep.
when I was a kid, I used to always just go on the scooter, go on the bike, find the biggest hill and go down as fast as I could. So I've got scars all over my knees and that, but that's a different story. And then I think when I was 6, my dad raced all of his life. He raced for 25 years.
Yep.
And what was he racing? What Speedway? Yeah.
So he raced around Lismore, 6-time Australian champion in V8 modified. So he was, in his own right, he was bloody good. So he had an accident 2008. So I was just turned 6 years old, and he broke his back. Was lucky to survive the accident, let alone walk again. So he was So he got. I think he went through recovery for about 8 months. Learned how to walk, got going again, and after that he was stupid enough to sign us up for motorsport. So he obviously didn't learn from his mistake, but he couldn't race ever again. So I started motorsport with my sisters. My sisters raced go-karts when I was 6. So minimum age of race go-karts was 7. So I mucked around with them and worked on their karts for them, cleaned their karts, and then I started when I was 7 years old. Ever since then I haven't turned back, haven't done a single other sport, and just focused my life on motorsport.
So you just went from karts to this, or was there something in between?
Yeah, so I
karts?
done 2 years. So I done 9 years of go karts.
Yep.
So I done it from 2009 to 2016.
Yep.
And then I done 2 years Formula Ford. So I done 2 years National Formula Ford, which is good. It's a perfect stepping stone for me. It was getting out of a go kart to a car with all suspension, everything like that, body roll, gears. everything like that. And it was just perfect stepping stone. And when I was coming through, we had some of the biggest names in Australian motorsport coming through that are starting to make a ripple effect on the world of motorsports. We got Hunter McElrea. He's over in America trying to make it to IndyCar at the moment. Cameron Shields, he was my teammate in 2018. So he's over in America as well, trying to go with Hunter and try and make a name for himself in America.
And what are they driving over there?
So they're racing in the USF 2000.
Yeah.
Which
so
is what's that, mate?
So it's going to on the path to IndyCar. So
Yep.
you have Formula Ford, and then you go to if you win Formula Ford Championship in Australia, you go to a scholarship shootout in America to go race in USF 2000. So Hunter McElrea, he won the scholarship shootout, which is massive. I mean, to be able to compete against a bloke like that, and to be racing against a bloke like that who's he's won a scholarship against all the best drivers from Formula Ford around the world. It's big for me as well. And so he made it to USF 2000. I think this year's moved on to Pro Mazda Series. And I think he's got Indy Lights and IndyCar to go to try and make it to the main game IndyCar. So he's doing a bloody good job.
So he's well on the way, going really well.
Yeah. And
So now you got your license, your actual car license, where you like couldn't wait till you're 16, get on the road and start driving.
Yeah,
Did you have to do a normal driver's license like everybody else?
Had to wait.
Yeah.
I was more nervous than any other person when I went for my license because I knew everyone knew when my birthday was. Everyone knew that if I failed, I would.
Tell me you passed the first time though, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But how about your driver's test for your P's? Did you maybe come in the corner sideways? Hey mate, it's alright, I can drive.
Yeah, it's a bit different. It's a lot different to what driving on a racetrack is. So it was hard to get used to. I pretty much had to learn how to drive again. So.
Well, mate, I failed my L's. I actually drove down, failed to get my L's, and drove home. She said, "Hey, you got to come pick up. You can't drive home." Yeah. So I got the car down here. I need to get it home. And she chased me out, the old lady. But anyway, not like you, a bit of a driver, hey.
Yeah.
So 17 though, that's the bit that blows me away.
Yeah.
17 years old, and you're out there with the big boys because
Exactly.
there are some big players out there, isn't there? And big teams and things like that. Now you were talking earlier about the Dream Racing team.
Yep.
And so that's just a group of guys that got together to help young people like you come through, or how's that all work?
So pretty much Dream Racing, it was a successful businessman, Craig Scatella. He came into the sport. He went to a fast track without race experience, which is where I work now. So what that is, that's actually they got 20 odd people go around every event. You have customers come in, they pay, they drive the cars around track, they have a coach sitting beside them, so which is what I do now. I'm a coach, so I sit beside them, take them around for 10, 8 or 6 laps or 4 laps, coach them how to drive and try and get them a little bit faster, and they sit in the passenger seat and they do hot laps and I'll drive. So Craig went through that with George Elliott. So George Elliott was a bloke he used to race NASCAR for years. He's 70 years old now, he's been racing probably 60 years, so it's insane to be with that much experience. It's insane to be in the same team as someone like that, and I'm just learning every time I talk to him. So they linked up together. So Craig went to one of their events, and he got hooked from it. So he just wanted to try and get into motorsport. George heard about TA2 series, so he came into TA2 series, and then we just by luck. Last year we were doing it all ourselves. It was just me, my dad, and one of Dad's friends, John, who helped him through Speedway. So we were just a bunch of gravel grubs coming from Speedway. Never been a bitch in our life. And look, we punched well above our weight. I mean, we got our first win in the second round with a car that was 8th fastest on track, and I was just pretty much moving roadblocks to try and do that. So it was hard. And then we met them at Adelaide, which is the 3rd round of the championship. And it was good. Ever since we met them, they put me in their car. I was like, holy jeez, how quick are these things? I was immediately 2.5 faster than I was in my own car. Wow. That's unheard of in motorsport. I mean, when you're comfortable in the car, you're comfortable in the car, and no matter what car you hop into, you can't replicate that time. And I thought I was comfortable in my car, and I just hopped in George's car. George is about 5 foot tall, so I'm 6 foot, so I'm driving like this, cramped up everywhere, and I've gone a second faster than I've done. I was like, holy Jesus. So we got on good with them, and they helped us with the car setup. And then towards the end of the year, we actually started to get a lot of race wins. We had a fair few mechanical gremlins. At that round at the bend, we had our diff blow up. Then after that, we had clutch, gearbox, fuel pump, and we had a shocking year last year.
Is it condition is the reason all those issues happen? Is it because of Australian conditions, or is it?
It's different because with the fuel pumps, there's a bad batch came through in TA2, and you can't do anything about that. Yeah. That happens, and motorsport's cruel in the fact that you could be the best person on the day, but you could come dead last just by the fact that something goes wrong for you. Yeah. So when we had the diff fail because I was driving the car so hard, we didn't have the setup right in the car at all for the first few rounds. I was driving the car so hard, and it was just the diffs in them. They're not bulletproof. They're not made for the horsepower of the cars, so they have to be babied and checked every second event, every second or third event you go out there. So
what's in the car? What's the size of motor? How much power they got?
So 525 horsepower at the wheels, which is pretty big considering they only weigh 1250 kilos. So the power to weight's bigger than a V8 supercar, which is massive. I mean, it's something that it's a different car to drive, different beast. So I've done a test day in Super 2 and everything like that. They're good cars, they're fun cars to drive, but it's nothing like TO2. And TO2s are different every single lap. You're constantly focused, you're constantly stressing, and any moment you relax, you're going to be in the fence. It's a different beast.
So that gets you from Formula Ford to TO2.
Yep.
So the major difference with more fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Formula Fords are open wheels too,
Yeah,
aren't they?
Formula
So
Ford
you
wheels.
touch them and they break.
Yeah. So there was no lean on each other then, and when we were racing in Formula Ford, there was 36 odd cars in the field, so it was massive, and we had the biggest names in Australian motorsport, as I touched on before.
Yeah.
And they've all moved on to become some of the biggest names in Australian motorsport at the moment. So you got Harry Jones, who also moved on to Porsche Carrera Cup as well. So he's gone leaps and bounds. Will Brown, Super 2, and just growing up. Well, that was my first year ever in motorsport. So in circuit racing, and to have to compete against people like that at age 14. I mean, I was learning. Trust me. So it was different because they were very aggressive. They didn't like a 14-year-old coming in there and giving them a hard time. So in open wheelers, I was shocked about how much contact you can make. So
oh really?
It's different. I was getting pushed around the washing machine, and look, it was good fun. It's something that you need to learn at least once.
Yeah.
And it's helped me a lot. It's improved me in leaps and bounds twice as quick as what I ever thought I would improve.
Is that sorry, mate?
No, you took Al and Brad for some hot laps.
Yeah, in TO2,
And I watched some of that, and they're big cars.
Yeah,
they're wide cars. Like you look at that road, I don't know how you're getting past each other on those roads because they are wide cars compared to are they wider than the V8 supercars?
Yeah, they're probably the widest, tankiest looking things I've ever seen. So they're a lot to get your head around because they're left-hand drive as well.
Yep.
And they're not like a supercar where you actually sit further in the middle. They're strictly left-hand drive.
So how many times have you got in your car out here and got on the wrong side of the car?
Yeah. It's thankfully it's not anything like that because otherwise I'd have to jump through a window to get in.
True.
So
never thought about that. True.
Yeah, but no, it's
and wear a
good.
helmet.
Yeah. It took me a lot to get my head around at first, but it's probably good that I didn't have my license because I'd never driven a right-hand drive car before.
Yeah.
Apart from paddock bashes when I was a kid. But from Formula Ford, I was sitting in the middle of the car anyway, so it's open wheeler. So jumping into a left-hand drive car wasn't too foreign. H pattern gearbox, 4-speed as well, so it wasn't anything that was new to me anyway. In a way. It's
probably were lucky there too, as a young kid coming to that. Yeah, it was older guys going into it, having to relearn. Go down the side.
Be like Al trying to get. Imagine that. Shocking. Because he's his birthday yesterday. Did you know that?
Yeah.
51.
Sorry. That day we went up there, that was a phenomenal day. Thanks again for that. The G-forces and that thing when it takes off is amazing. How low you sit in the car, like the visibility. He's got nothing basically. You can just see like a little slot over things. So I don't know how you drive in the car.
Yeah.
And just, I think, I was talking to your dad, and your dad said from Formula Ford you learn a lot of your skills, as in how the car goes, tracking it, and you brought them over to your TA2 as well. Yeah.
So I was extremely lucky. We came into Formula Ford by chance. I was at a go-kart event, and I was just doing my own thing, and a bloke came up and he wanted to talk about doing Formula Ford, going to Formula Ford. So that was actually at Lismore Young Guns. That was a big event back in its day, and it still is a pretty big event now. So we talked to him. I had a meeting with Formula Ford, and then one of our good mates, Will Brown, from go-karts, he just went through Formula Ford with Brett Francis. So he linked us up with Brett Francis, and that was probably the luckiest thing I've ever had in my life. Yeah. Brett was just, we spoke each other's language. And that's important in motorsport. When you can speak each other's language, there's no communication stuff-ups in between. So whatever he tried to say to me got straight to my head. Yep. Whatever I tried to say to him went straight to his head. And every time we hit that track, I knew that I was in one of the best cars out there and I had a chance to win.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Probably one of the biggest things I've noticed too for Lismore is motorsport. I don't know the story behind the Porsche Cup. The guy was actually a local guy here,
Dave Russell,
who started the Porsche Cup. Like that's a big. That's not just a little thing. That's a worldwide.
Yeah. And it's good. I think Lismore can do a little bit more to push motorsport.
Yeah.
Because we do push a lot of arts and crafts and food and everything like that. I don't see much sport getting pushed around. And it sort of sucks because I know we've got some talented blokes in Lismore, but unfortunately we just have nowhere to go. Like for us to do a test day last year, we didn't get to do a single test day in TA2 just because of the logistics of it. Try and drive 3 hours up to Queensland Raceway. It's a long drive, and Queensland Raceway it's a paperclip. 6 turns and
well, it's not a big drive for you. Like Alan and I, you'd be up there quick.
Yeah, I wish. If only that was on a highway speed limit, would be right. But it's a long way to drive, and to get to a track like Queensland Raceway, we only race there once. Yep. It's 6 corners. It's nothing too advanced to get a hand of. Obviously, there's every track's advanced, but you can pick up the logistics are pretty quick and get cars set up pretty quick.
Is that the Ipswich one?
Ipswich, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So what's the test track? Is that where you do your hot laps?
Yeah, so that's where I took
Gold Coast?
Brad now out to do the to passenger ride laps.
Yep.
So yeah, but for this year, unfortunately, Trans Am's not going to Queensland Raceway. TO2 will be. So that'll be good. At least that's half local event.
Yeah.
But Trans Am series we're doing all down south, so we're sort of stuffed for test driving, and that's probably the best thing about joining Dream Racing. Now they look after our car down in Melbourne, so they do all the work in the car, scale the car and everything like that for me. And it's taken a massive load off of Dad. I mean, he's got to run a business himself. I've got to go. I'm still in school, working 3 jobs, and at least now we don't have to spend every extra hour working in the shed.
Yeah.
At least now I've got some blokes to do it for us, which is good. And there is Picky's dad with the car, so I would say another word for it, but it's probably not allowed in this program, but that's right.
That's so
we're open, mate, so you can say whatever you like.
So it's in a car now heading to Adelaide?
Yeah, so it's at Adelaide now.
Yep.
Bumping was today. So Neil, the truck driver, he's got it all organised and done all that for us, so we'll rock up tomorrow, help do all the registrations and everything like that. Go for a track walk and get to know Adelaide a little bit better.
So you're flying down there from the Gold Coast, or
yeah, from the Gold Coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just want to go back to your go-karting days.
Yep.
Because this stuff a lot of people probably don't know. We're going to go through 2012.
Yep.
It's got NT state champion.
Yeah, Northern Territory. Yeah.
2012 cadet rookie Southwest Queensland champion.
Yep.
Then we've got back-to-back Young Guns. You spoke about Young Guns before.
Yep.
Yeah. 2012, 2013.
Yep.
Boom. And then this one's a big one. 2013 nominee Young Australian of the Year award.
Whoa!
Tell us a bit about that one.
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah, it was a good year, 2012.
So not just a motor car race. It's not just it's obviously good calibre of kid. Not trying to piss in your pocket or anything, but just a good kid.
Yeah. Look, 2012 was massive for us. I mean, I was 10 at the time, so when we were driving up to Northern Territory, that was my first ever state title win. Remember driving there, got a bit of seat time on the way up there because Dad fell asleep. Well, he didn't fall asleep. Pop was asleep on the back couch. Dad was driving, and me and my sister, we were sitting on the passenger seat with Dad. And he's like, "Oh, kids, I'm so tired." I said, "Oh, we'll drive." He's like, "Really?" So he went back to bed. My sister drove for about 10 minutes. She didn't like it.
How old was she then?
What's that?
How old was your sister then?
She was 12. So yeah.
Safety first. Yep.
So I was driving for probably a solid 30-45 minutes down in middle of outback Australia trying to get to Darwin. So yeah, it was good fun, and that weekend was massive. I mean, we had Jack Doohan, who's Mick Doohan's son. He was racing there, and he's racing F3 Asia at the moment now. So I mean, yeah, it's I probably grew up at one of the hardest points of Australian motorsport. Not boosting myself, but everyone that I've raced against and raced against hard, they've all moved on now, and they've making a name for themselves. And so, to be able to race against people like that and to be able to give them a good run for their money and see that they're moving on to things like that, so it's pretty big for me just to look back and say, oh, Jesus, I used to race against this kid and now he's doing that.
We look at you now.
It just shows potential that you've got as well.
Yeah. Heaps of potential. Yeah, like I said, I know, still blows me away you're 17. Like we know you from our other businesses here, doing the gym work. You get trained here by Al and Brad, and when you're doing what you're doing, I've seen the video of what how you drive, and it still blows me away. It's just incredible. And Al and Brad, when they went for that drive day, and Al actually said he changed his pants twice, so I don't know what that was about. Was that just because you had holes in your underpants, or what was that about?
It's a good day. I really like those drive days. They're good.
Well, we were both in the car industry, so we've been to drive days.
Yeah.
But something like that's a bit more personal, and I guess it would have been.
Well, you don't even think that Nathan's 17. Just you watch him go around, and I think he would have done 50, 60 laps that day, I think.
Yeah, it was a big day.
Yeah.
I was knackered, so.
Yeah. Do you get dizzy?
What's that?
Do you get dizzy?
No, it was a good day. It was good fun. The hardest thing probably was adjusting back to my car, because in the two-seater it's set up universally.
Yep.
So they have blokes who want to get into TA2. They actually drive that 2-seater. So that it's set up universally, so you can they sit it a little bit higher, so it's easier to drive.
Yeah.
So I hop back in my car and I was driving like this, sticking wheel up here, like
and that
trying to look over the dash.
Camaro?
Yeah, Camaro. Yeah.
And yours is a Dodge.
Dodge, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can't tell the body because you actually can't see the bonnet or any of the wheel wells or anything like that. So you can't see anything related to the car. All you can see is the roof above your head and the windscreen. So there's no difference between the cars. They're all wind tunnel tested. They're all identical. And yeah, so it's good. It's a good same formula racing of motorsport. You go into I know there's a few series around Queensland and everything like that. It's not, they're meant to be equal formula, but it's not.
Yeah.
At least the TA2, they're strict on it. The cars, you can't change much on them. So everyone's on the same thing, and then that just means whoever's got the biggest kahunas on the day and whoever pushes the car the hardest win.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be
because
the
they all come out the same setup, factory, whatever. It's all
everything.
there, same, all the engines, all the same sort of stuff.
Yep.
And,
So everything on those cars is built in Howe Racing Enterprises in America.
Yep.
So the cars are built in America, raced in America, raced in Europe, raced in Asia, and raced in Australia. So the Asian and the Australian cars are the exact same. They're identical. European cars, I don't know what the difference is on them. I think they're an older gen. I think they started in Europe probably 6-7 years ago. America it's identical to Australia, just with no air jacks in them. So Australian
When you
cars.
say air jacks, what's
so
air jacks?
when the supercars do their pit stops, you see the bloke jab into the side window and the car lifts up.
Yep.
So we have them on ours, but we're not allowed to run them because cost-wise, and they're trying to keep it cheap. So the Asian cars run them. So the same chassis, they're built out of the same people, so they just run it in their cars as well. So yeah.
And you're like it's basically a chassis with a roll bar.
Yep.
And then is it a fiberglass shell or carbon shell? Or?
So the Mustangs and Camaros are carbon fiber.
Yep.
And the Dodgers are fiberglass. So the Dodgers are about 15-something kilos heavier.
Yep.
15, 25 kilos heavier.
Sure.
But that worked out well for me because I've got nothing on me apart from bone. So worked out well for us. And we originally wanted to get a Camaro because we're always Holden fans.
Yep.
Which is another question I'm going to ask you later. How you feeling?
About Holden? Yeah.
Holden leaving us. So you're a bit upset with that?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I'm more on the Dodge side now, so
okay.
Joining the dark side, so because when we tried to order our car in, I think they only had 2 Dodgers in Australia. So they said, "Oh, look, we want to get Dodgers out there. We want people to know that it's a 3 horse race, not a 2 horse."
Yep.
So they said, "We'll put in 5 cars that are Dodgers, and if you want to change it, you can pay the extra to change your body." So righto, we'll take a Dodge.
So they are basically all the same chassis, roll bar, and you just put a new top on it.
Yep, they're all steel cage on wheels.
Yep.
Put a big motor in it and put a body over it, and that's a race car.
Yeah, wow.
So there's nothing else in there. So
maybe is it? I know watching your video you did here the other day with your training and promoting yourself there. Like you're saying, you lose up to 3 kilos.
Yeah, 3 kilos throughout a race weekend, which is massive. So,
wow.
Especially in a bloke like me, I have nothing on me to lose.
Yeah, I know. What are you just like a chicken that's dried out in the oven?
Touch on the one you did. You were lucky to do the Bathurst 12-hour.
Yep.
And you mentioned before you did 6 laps and tell us about the heat in the car and your feet and stuff like that.
It's different because the TA2s, they're only a small wheel. So the wheels of themselves are actually only 15 inches. So you can only have a small brake system in there. So I think the rotor's only 13-inch big, and with a small brake system in it, they generate a lot more heat, obviously, because there's a small surface area. So I was racing against supercars and marked cars. I shouldn't have been anywhere near them. I should have been way back with all the other TA2s, back in 10th place, but I managed to push the car hard enough in the right spots and get up with the supercars.
Yep.
And all I was doing was sucking in their hot air. So I was sucking in all the hot air from their cars, and it was just burning the car up. So inside the cockpit, I think we were running probably 60-something degrees, something like that. And down my footwell was just insane heat. So we only got to do 6-lap races, just because we kept having cars break down and all that. Because they're sports sedan cars, they're made to do sprint races. They're not made to last a long distance. So the TA2s lasted the whole distance, but the other cars were starting to fall to bits. So when you're in the TA2, or after the weekend, my feet were blistering. So bottom of my feet was just peeling skin off everywhere because it was just so hot in cars. So we're going down to Adelaide this weekend, so we've got to try and get a bit more heat shielding around the footwell.
Yeah. So tell me, walk us around Bathurst. Like we all see it. We were kids,
Must have been a great experience for you.
Yeah. What's it like? You know, you're starting there, the big crowd.
Yeah. It's fairly large. Yeah, it was good.
Now, people, you hear people talking about now it's 60 when you drive through it, but coming down that hill.
Yeah.
How steep is that hill?
Bloody steep. It's massive, and it's something that you can't really explain. When you're driving a car on the limit, it's hard enough to drive on a flat bit of road. When you're driving it over a crest, it's hard because the TA2. I've got a photo where the front right wheel's actually off the ground, coming around over the top of the crest, and we haven't seen that since Brocky was racing around bloody Bathurst years ago. So it shows with the supercars nowadays, they're stuck to the ground. They've all got downforce, so they can run around the top of the mountain real faster.
Yeah.
TA2s, they're boats on wheels pretty much.
So it's a bit old school, aren't they?
Yeah, massive horsepower, no grip, no brakes, no nothing. All it is just.
I can't wait to get in one.
Yeah.
You're selling it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So when you're coming over the top of that hill, and you because I know that corner you're talking about,
Skyline,
the Skyline Hill there, and you get through your brain like because you would have seen like crashes and stuff down that hill.
Yeah.
Like, is there any time you sort of okay, you can tell it, you can be open? Did you wet yourself?
Oh, no.
Is there any times you just go, wow?
Yeah. Or on the cool down laps, or on the safety car, it's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm driving around this bloody thing. But when you're actually racing, you're not thinking about anything like that. You're thinking about how am I going to beat this bloke in front of me and how am I going to get in front of him. Because when I was racing in the last race, a lot of people did see that last race, which I was blown away by. Like the amount of support I've had from that race, it's just been insane. And I was racing against a Corvette that had an extra 250 horsepower than me, so I was quick around top of the mountain, and as soon as we got down to the straight, boom, he was gone. And I was like, oh God, who am I going to get him here? So I got up to his arse on Skyline, but I couldn't get past him down Skyline, so I was just trying to figure out which way to go and how to get past him. But
how quick down there?
It's not down Skyline or down Conrod.
Or Conrod, Conrod. Yeah. How quick down Conrod?
So the TA2 was doing 280 down Conrod, which is pretty big. It's for a car that's worth 150 grand compared to supercars which are doing 285. Or current generation supercars which are doing 285 and they're $750,000 or something.
So they're doing 285, you're doing 280?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they make up all their time. They would be a lot quicker, but the downforce they run.
Yep.
Obviously, with the faster you go, the more downforce you have, and the more it sucks the car down, and more weight, so less speed. So
how fast is a Corvette going in front of you?
Oh, he was doing 320, 315, so it's quick.
That's ridiculous.
I was panicking. I was like, oh, geez, look at this. How quick am I going?
Does it get a bit loose down there?
Me, so.
Yeah, Conrod. Yeah, they reckon at that first corner it's loose, like when you.
So coming over there, because you don't like you see it when you drive over it. On the straights, the straight's probably the most hairy part in the whole track. So kind of mount straight between the first corner and then the right hand going up the hill.
Yeah.
The car gets airborne. So with the TA2, I'm coming over the crest, and if you went off camber a little bit, the rear of the car step out, so you got opposite lock going down the straight, and you're doing that.
Maybe a little bit of poo come out.
Oh Jesus! 240 kilometers an hour, and you're going down the straight like that. Like, it's hairy.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, it's different. It's good because everyone's on the same boat.
Yeah.
So you got we're racing Bathurst International there later on in the year. I think we're expecting 30-something cars, maybe 40 cars even, to try and race around that event. That's going to be massive. I mean, seeing 30 cars racing on the limit, going around Bathurst, it's something that you won't. Well, no one's seen since the 1980s in supercars, 1990s.
Cool. Actually, I was watching some old footage the other day regarding like Bathurst, and it was Dick Johnson, and they were eating lunch.
Yeah,
while they were driving
around. Yeah,
they had a compartment in the middle of their car, like just a standard car, and they'd have a sandwich their wife had made them, and they'd be eating lunch around that track.
Yeah.
Wow, and there was no safety rails. Like you come off, you get a tree. That's simple as that.
You wouldn't have time these days.
Yeah,
the speed they're going through this.
Well, they were still doing the same speed as what we're doing now. Right? You look back and like, holy Jesus.
Yeah, but there's a lot more.
Mad.
Yeah, but they didn't have anything like what you have today, really, do they? Like they're there's no roll bars.
Just car.
I'll just have a chicken lettuce sandwich. I'll drive down the road.
Yeah, it's insane. And you watch back on it, and I know when we have the radios on there, well, I won't call him engineers because my dad is on the radio, but
we'll call him engineer. Yeah. He's an engineer. We'll use it for the right.
So yeah, even when he's talking, it's just like, oh, come on, bugger off, let me drive. And
really?
you watch the old videos, and you got Rocky and Dick just talking to the commentators as they're going around, like. You're thinking, what the hell? Like, you got a job to do and you're talking. So.
Just talking about that, it's just your dad that works on it, you and your dad.
Yeah, so me and Dad done it. So Dad, he's been a mechanic all of his life.
Yep.
I think when he was 17, he got his apprenticeship as a mechanic. He worked at a Caltex servo, sweeping floors, moved his way up, started his own trucking business, and yeah, so, and when we were working on it, the whole aim of the game was for me to try and learn how to work on a car myself and get a little bit more mechanical knowledge. But Dad didn't like that, so he's finicky. He loves the cars, so he won't let anyone else touch it. So I'm shocked whether he's even allowed us to join a team this year, to be honest, because he'll probably be underneath that car at Adelaide, making sure everything's done to his standard. But yeah, because I bought a go-kart for myself, just keep seat time, and I told Dad, bugger off, it's mine. Let me do the work on it. So
he'll fly to Adelaide with you?
Yeah. So Dad,
so you're still part of the team.
Yeah, Dad's been to every single one of my races, and same Mum. So they've never missed it. So I don't.
So is Mum making you that chicken lettuce sandwich? Are you going to have later for half time?
I've got to say, massive support to your family. They look after you big time, don't they?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, and it's